Hey girlies, here's AMA Ask Me Anything with Amy round two from being on the road. We are still coming back from Florida, but Rosalind sent me over questions that you're dying to know. So of course I'm going to answer them for you, whether I'm there or not. So let's get started. Okay, question number one from a hottie subscriber is, what do you do if you have a midday meltdown or your day just starts to completely derail? So I love that question because I have what's called a pivot pause. So I allow myself 15 minutes to cry, to melt down, to have a min TV, to do whatever it is I need to do. But that pivot pause is only allowed to be 15 minutes. After that, we have to pull our big girl panties up and move on, find a solution, regroup, get it together, because so many other people are counting on and looking towards the decision that I make to pull the team together and pivot in another direction. So we call that the pivot pause, and you're only allowed 15 minutes to figure that out, to have your moment, and then you move on. This one I love. It had to have been a question that was submitted from another business owner or CEO. So what is your number one CEO lazy girl hack? It is absolutely voice to text or voice memo. If you get a super long message from me and it's riddled with spelling errors or all messed up and in jumbled words, it's because I've done a voice text or a text to speech. But voice memos and anything voice saves my life nowadays. I'm typically on the go, moving from one place to another, literally upwards of 5 to 7 to 10 times per day. I'm really not in the same location throughout my business day or my work day, even if I'm traveling or not. And so being able to do like voice text has been a huge lifesaver for me, and definitely highly recommend that to any of you women on the go. Okay, next question. What is one thing that you wish people would stop asking you? This is probably going to sound like a super bitchy moment, but when people come to me and say, hey, real quick, dot, 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 you fill in the blank, whatever that may be. Hey, real quick, can I ask you one more thing? Hey, real quick, can you make me this mock up really quick? Hey, real quick, can you make me one t-shirt for something that's happening this weekend? Ma'am. In the most loving way possible, no. Real quick always turns into like 5 other steps that are needed. And I literally have a 27 tab spreadsheet open up here that I'm trying to maneuver through. So interrupting that thought process, or when somebody says like, hey, real quick, can I ask you one more thing? Or can you do one more thing? Or hey, real quick, can I catch you before you walk out the door? Like, in the most loving way possible, no. Okay, next question. What is one thing that you do that continues to keep your team motivated? I love this because this is actually inspiration from another entrepreneur and CEO that I just kind of adopted because I fell in love with the idea. But I feel like people don't leave companies, they leave bad leadership. And so I never wanted to put myself in a position where my team felt like they needed to go find another job because they were dissatisfied with me as their boss or their leader. So I implemented something that I absolutely still love and use to this day. I can't always do it, and I try to do it when budget and finances allow. But we have what's called a celebration survey, and every new employee fills this out along with a my favorite things list. And it just gives me an opportunity to know what would continue to keep them going. And it ranges everything from like, what would you do with an extra $5 to what would you do with an extra $5,000, and every increment in between. So if we hit a milestone or we have a great event or they do something that's very deserving of being recognized, I can pull out that celebration survey and really be able to go back and reference of what they specifically would want to continue to be motivated. Like I said, I can't always do it, and finances may not always allow for some type of a monetary compensation, but I do try to implement that. And if nothing else, let them verbally hear. I'm a huge words of affirmation person, so I like to make sure that if nothing else, my staff hear from me that they've done a fantastic job. Okay, last question. What is one thing that would make your workday so much easier? Well, without a doubt, it would be a clone of me. If you guys could figure out how to clone people, that would be great, because if there could be like 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 of me, do you know how much we would get done? Do you know what I would take over in this world? So figure out how to clone people, and that would be nice. Thank you for watching another episode of AMA with Amy. Ask me anything, where I open up and tell you all my secrets behind the scenes, being a wife, being a mom, being an entrepreneur, all the things. And today, brought to you by the Golden Nugget Casino. Love you.